Hey gang, pretty excited to show off to you my brand new reloading press. And what are we looking at here? Well, it's a Ponsness Warren, of course, a 375 Duomatic single stage reloading press. If you're not familiar with Ponsness Warren, they are direct consumer, built to order business. So you can't just go on their website and order a reloading machine from them. You got to kind of get in line and wait. They're high end, progressive reloaders. You have to wait up to 18 months and actually even beyond 18 months. Luckily, though, for the 375, which is a very, its reputation kind of precedes it. Luckily for these machines, it's only about 3 to 4 months. So I ordered this sometime back in the spring, I think, sometime in March, and just got it a few days ago. And what's cool about this is that it's a 32 gauge reloading press. Kind of one of a kind, actually. I talked to one of the guys in the shop last week when they were getting my order ready to ship to me, and we were just discussing kind of the final specifications, and I asked him kind of jokingly, oh, you probably don't see too many of these, you haven't built too many of these, and I think he said this was probably the fourth one he's built. So I do know there's a few other 32 gauge weirdos out there. If you happen to stumble across this video, let me know what you think of your 375 in 32 gauge. So the 375, it's a very proven platform. Really, I think a brilliant machine. When I ordered this back in the spring, I didn't have any Ponsness Warren machines at all. But you can kind of see maybe off to the right here. I have two others on my bench here, which I picked up used shortly after I placed my order for this guy. And so I kind of got lucky there because I have one in 12 and 20, and then I picked up a couple extra die sets for other gauges. So currently I can reload on these machines every gauge except for 410. 410 is the one I have not gotten yet. And also the big question is, do I want to just completely geek out and get a set of 24 gauge dies I can install on the other side of this guy? I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. I don't do a whole lot of 24 gauge, but it is nice to to have the ability to load it on something mechanical like this. And these machines are really, they're just brilliant, frankly. I've fallen in love with them, and they've quickly kind of replaced all my mechs. I still do have a couple mechs, some progressive mechs, but otherwise these machines, like I said, they're just fabulous. They're so really simple, incredibly simple in a way, and yet they're so well engineered and built. And there's a reason why they've been making them for decades and decades. It's kind of interesting, actually. This one, of course, is just hot off the presses, and it has a 44,000 a serial number and some change. And this one on the right here, my 20 gauge, is a 43,000 and some change. And then the one all the way at the end, my 12 gauge, is a it's almost 43,000. So these are all very new machines, actually. Of course, this one is brand new. And so again, the cool thing is it's a 32 gauge. I've already loaded a number of rounds on it, although I have not quite got it up to speed yet, because during the shipping, unfortunately, the final crimp die here got bent. And you can kind of maybe see that here when you come up. I don't know how well that's going to come into focus, or when you come up here, does not line up. Now it still works when you're pulling it in for the final crimp. It will kind of tug on that die and get it back aligned, but it's certainly not ideal. Ponsness Warren, though, they're great to deal with. I told them about the issue, and they're sending me a new crimp RAM, so I'll have that within a week, and I can kind of play around a little bit more with the settings on that. I haven't done much with the final crimp die, but you can see some of my work here. These have all come out looking pretty nice. Now I did finish these on my OMV crimp die, final crimp die. That's the one that kind of spins around on my drill press, sets the crimp in a little deeper, and of course gives you a nice tapered edge. This machine, of course, will give a taper once I kind of get it dialed in, and we'll see if I still need to use the OMV die. I'm guessing I probably will, just because I have it, and it is a nice way to to get a really nice even crimp. So I'll probably continue to use it, but we'll kind of see how that goes once I get the replacement part here. One thing I've noticed though with reloading on here is, and this is true of a lot of presses, it doesn't do the best with new holes. And when you're reloading 32, most likely you've got roll crimped. If you're reloading factory once-fired factory holes, like these Fiocchis, for example, you've got a roll crimp. So it's basically like a new hole. It's a new hole mouth. It does have this nice metal crimp die, but I find that the OMV one just does a little bit better job. So what I've kind of been doing, I did this with a bunch of these green ones, is I actually pre-crimped it with the OMV crimp starter. And also there's this intermediary one that puts this kind of radius around it, helps kind of tuck it in to give even cleaner looking crimps, and I've done that as well. So when I load these on here, if they're these new ones like this, or the ones that have not been crimped before, I'll just open that up a little bit and then I'll run it through the press, and they come out, like I said, they come out looking pretty good, especially once I hit it with the OMV final crimper. But if I'm not using those, I'm using these guys, which are very nice. I gotta find one here. Yeah, this is an Italian La Unica ammo, and these were already crimped from the factory. So these reload really the best. They've already got the crimp memories kind of already set in there, and they run through here, and they're skived as well. So they run through very well. That's kind of what I've got here, right? And they come out just looking perfect. So I'm going to be doing a lot. Oh, by the way, these you probably noticed these do not look new, and you're right, they're not new. It came with new ones right here. I didn't realize though that these actually have to be fitted. They don't fit on here. You have to. The instructions said to set it in boiling water 2 inches deep to help expand the plastic. So I haven't messed around with that. I just pulled some off of my other machines. So I really feel like I'm in business now for cranking out a lot of 32 gauge reloads, and I've got a lot of different recipes to work with. A nice thing about Ponsness Warren is it truly is a custom tailor-made press machine. So I had them make me a custom shot bushing, right? And they stamped at 1.5. I do have a 1 as well. A 1 would be a half ounce, which is a typical 32 gauge payload. 1.5 here, which they don't catalog, but I had them build it for me. This is a 9/16 ounce, and I have some tested data I've done for 9/16 ounce loads. So I'm kind of excited about being able to run those on this machine. And with long shot powder, I do not have to mess around or cut down the wad, right? One thing that was difficult to do before using a press like this, which gives you great just leverage and torque with this handle, is to get a lot of wad pressure on this to collapse this crush section. You can see it's pretty stiff. It's a lot. This is a SG32 wad, which is basically the only wad that you can find and purchase for 32 gauge reloading. You can see the crush section there. It's very stiff. It's not like a AA wad. You know, like a AA wad, you put that in your hands and you can easily collapse those legs. This takes a lot of force, which this wad ram here really provides you. And so I can get this crushed down enough where I could easily fit 9/16 ounce without having to, usually you have to cut down these little sections here to get any payload to fit. But with long shot powder, it's a very dense powder, of course. You've got plenty of room to collapse this and still get a nice size shot charge in there. Now the other wad, of course, is the brush wad. These are unfortunately not available for purchase, though. They're made in Italy, and they are available in Europe, but they're not imported here. So I'm actually pulling these out of some loaded Rio shells that I have. It's kind of a tedious process, but I have literally thousands, in the thousands of these shells, so I can pull out as many as I want. Right. And the reason why I like these is because, again, even more so than this, you can fit, especially with long shot powder, as long as you don't mind not having a shot cup, you can fit even more of a payload in here. So a lot of options, even though there's not a lot of options for 32 gauge. But when you get a press like this, it really kind of opens things up to play around with powder charges and shot charges. Right now I've got a 5/8 ounce in there to load some 5/8 ounce hunting loads, and so I'm looking forward to trying those out this season. So we'll be doing a lot with a 32 gauge this season. I'm planning on dove hunting with it. Going to do some quail hunting and even some duck hunting, and this guy will get me through pretty much all of that. Again, I can't say enough good things about Ponsness Warren. I think they're just awesome machines, right? I mean, especially the 375. I don't have any experience with their progressive reloaders. I'm sure they're awesome as well. If you've been hearing some loud clicky noises, that's my dog in the background chewing on her bone. I apologize. She's keeping me company here. Where was I? Yeah, so I don't have any experience with the progressive reloaders. I'm sure they're great as well. But again, just for the sheer durability and simplicity of this machine, I mean, it really can't be beat. Not to say it's perfect. There are, there's a few things that I'm not crazy about, right? I don't love about this machine. But compared to anything else on the market, I think it's, like I said, it's brilliant. And they're built to last, so I can see myself using this for a very long time to come. If you'd like me to see me load some actual rounds in here, let me know. I can throw up a quick video doing some different 32 gauge reloads. But I'm excited to kind of get started and seeing what what I can make with this thing. So thanks for watching.